Are you at war with yourself? I think a lot of people sabotage, or you may not get things done because you are at war with yourself. You have this one voice that wants something, that knows it's going to be better for you, and then you've got this other voice which puts you down, which thinks you should just play it safe. Whatever it is, then there's another part of you that shames you, that if you don't do it, you have these three people in your head. Then there's you, four people. What are these people? They're all fighting each other. They all have different drives, different motives, different goals, different emotions, almost like different personalities, right? And if you said that to anyone, if you said that to a therapist, they'd be like, "Well, you sounds like you've got multiple personality disorder." But the truth is, as I'm saying this, I think everyone watching this, you watching this, would agree, right? There are parts of us that don't want to go. There are parts, you say it all the time. There's a part of me that just didn't want to go to the gym. There's a part of me that just wanted to eat pizza. Which one is you? Are you neither? Are you both? What's going on here? And the truth is, the more you look into this, and something I've discovered recently is that, yes, they are parts of you, but they are you as well, and they have an important message. So stick around in this video. I want to just explain something about being at war with yourself and how to kind of overcome that. So I read No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz, and it's been an amazing discovery. I've been meditating for like 12 years. I've done letting go therapy. I've done shadow work. I've had therapy for like 4 or 5 years. I've done everything. This has been a game changer. This has been almost like a miracle. And I think a lot of that has laid the groundwork to understand IFS a bit better. But I don't think IFS is very complicated. I think it's very easy for people to understand. It's just the buy-in and the belief that it works. Because I've always suspected that, yes, we do have parts, right? We do. I've always suspected that. I didn't realize how profound it was, or how true it was. So it wasn't until a clinical physician or a therapist or psychotherapist confirms yes. And it's all of these people now coming forward being like, yeah, IFS has changed my life. So you get more buy-in from it, and you just start to feel that real self. And let me just go into what it is really. So if you watch some of my other videos, maybe I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but the premise is this: we all have these different roles, and you could call them parts, right? But they are personalities, and they serve a purpose. They are natural. They are natural states. One wants you to get things done. It's a healthy thing. It's your motivation, right? Let's call it a motivated part. But if you don't fulfill it and it gets hurt, it goes into hyperdrive. It goes into hyper motivation, and it really believes that it has to make you into this ideal person for you to not feel the shame and not feel good enough. It's just becoming a protector then. It's blended with this role, this extreme role that it didn't really want. It got stuck with this role to make you better. That's your inner critic. It's constantly trying to motivate you. Then you've got this other part that's afraid, because the last time you put yourself forward, you got embarrassed. You stood up. You had to stand up in front of the class, or everybody teased you, and that's another part of you. Then there's another part of you that just wants love, wants connection, wants to be liked, wants to be seen, it wants to be adored, it wants to be met with women. That's another part of you. So all of these parts have these roles. They all serve a purpose. But what happens is because of trauma, they get locked into these extreme roles where they're trying to protect you. And then you have the exiled part of you, the vulnerable part, the part that none of these protectors want to put out. They don't want this part of you, because they know that this part of you, this exiled part, this is the most vulnerable part of you. Let's call it the inner child. They're so worried about that being exposed, because the last time it got exposed, it got hurt. So we're going to do everything we can. Like this family talking now. We, I'm talking in a plural pronoun. We are going to do our best to make sure that this vulnerable child doesn't get put forward. And you see it in everything. You see it in yourself. Obviously, you see it in everything. You see it in yourself. That's the point I'm making. You start to see it. You start to see it as a war. You see the war going on. You see one part of you say, let's do this, let's do that. But here's the key. You don't want it to be a war. It has to be a treaty. It has to be harmony. This is an ecosystem. There's an ecology going on here. They need to be working together. So if you sabotage, it's because everything's out of sync. Nobody's working together. You can have all of these parts work for you. That's the beauty of this. So you can stop the war, and they can join forces, and they can have the end of the civil war. They can all join forces, and they can fight with each other and become this ultimate army. And then when that happens, you'll have this newfound sense of life. You'll have this newfound sense of motivation, productivity, love for life, love for people, this understanding for yourself. You'll not be hard on yourself anymore. You'll spot when you're hard on yourself. It will just stop. And it comes from IFS. It comes from Internal Family Systems by Richard Schwartz, because he puts forward this idea that these parts, they're not bad. They serve the purpose. But what we would think of, let's kill our ego. From this perspective, it doesn't make any sense anymore. Yes, it makes sense to not be boastful or not have a self-image that, triggers other people. But from this point of view, it makes sense to have an ego. It makes sense to have a self-image. It makes sense because they all serve the purpose. So if you want to learn more about this, I highly recommend to check out No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. It's been an amazing book for me. And as you can tell, I'm just full of energy now. I can't get enough of it. I'm watching loads of videos on it. And yeah, I haven't put out any videos for a while because I was being too hard on myself. I was sabotaging, and it was too difficult. I was just too in my head. I was too identified with just one of those parts, and the rest of them were conflicting. I wanted to put out a video, but the inner critic was saying it won't be good enough. You won't get any views. There's no point. So you can see how this affects everybody's life. I want to go to the gym. Another part of you. There's no point. You're not gonna lift as much as you used to be able to lift. So there's no point. So you'll feel shame because you can't lift as much as you used to be able to lift. So therefore you shouldn't go. You see how this happens, right? This is the war I'm talking about. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I've inspired you to check his books out. It's really good. Like, subscribe, comment, make more people watch these videos. This is going to help a lot of people, so do it. Peace. Thanks very much.